Another question from our chat. So, where can we watch the film? Is it possible to watch it now somewhere, or maybe buy on DVD soon?
Well, you could try and get a ticket to come to Berlin and see it this weekend. There's a big screening on Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's other screenings on Sunday morning, so come to Berlin. That's not too far away from Poland. The other option is to wait a short while, and I'm not too sure exactly when, but there is going to be a cinema release, and that's the most important release for me. I mean, I've always thought of this as a feature film. My background's in feature films. Kevin MacDonald, Ridley Scott, obviously, is the background's all in trying to make a cinematic experience for people, and I hope that people will come sit in the cinemas where they'll find it's an amazing film to watch with an audience.
Are you satisfied with the result of this project? Asks Krish. Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Krish. I think definitely. I mean, you tell me, but I think it's set out to achieve what it set out to do, and it's done it 10 times over. It's broken history. I mean, it's new. This is a new type of film. There's never been a crowdsourced film of this scale before, and I'm very, very proud of what we've done. It's an amazing, not just for me, but for our whole team, an amazing achievement, and it's proving to be popular with audiences too, so I'm very happy.
That project, Life in a Day, was surely an experiment for, I think, for the crew, for the viewers, for the contestants.
Yeah.
How does it feel to do something new, unique, and something that moves people?
I sort of, my background was originally in experimental music, and I sort of studied all the kind of difficult, awkward composers that nobody ever listened to. So experimental for me means normally putting on a concert at which there are more people on the stage than there are in the audience. So this isn't quite like that. This is much more, it's a commercial film, and it's intended to please people. It's intended to amuse and entertain and move people. So, yeah, really important thing to be part of that. But that's why we all get into filmmaking. We want to be, I'm sure everybody wants to be able to move people en masse. And that's the great thing about cinema, is that it enables you to be bold and artistic, but also you have to bear in mind, I always think of that moment when people get their keys and they go for the car at the end of the film. How do they feel at that moment? You know, when you leave the cinema and you're going to get your car keys out of your pocket, that's the moment where a film is either worked or it hasn't. You know, are you still thinking about it, or are you thinking about you need some petrol, you forgot the shopping, God, it's late, you know, am I going to get back in time? That's the key thing to try and to work on for me.
Do you have any information that Life in a Day will be shown in Poland, maybe in some film festival, or will there be Polish translation, Polish version?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer to that question, but I feel sure that it will come to you. I mean, Poland was actually one of the places that supplied us with a lot of very good material. There was a very unexpected pocket of good footage, and it came from Poland and Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some hot spots across the world where we got a lot of good material. So, yeah, I feel sure it will come your way. If not to a cinema, then I'm sure it'll be shown on YouTube at some point further down the line.
Do you think that user-generated movies and the idea of crowdsourcing are the future of the cinema? Is that the new type of shooting movies, making movies?
I don't think it'll be, I think it is a new type of movie. I'm not sure it's going to replace anything. I think it's another beautiful variation of what we can do. I mean, in the same way that there's a film called Koyaanisqatsi, I don't know if you know that film. There was a series of films made in the 80s with a great deal of love, and they were a new kind of film at the time that looked at the world in a sort of anthropological way and used a lot of stop motion footage and sped up footage, and was a sort of poetic view of now that spawned about three, four, five different films that have all been influenced by it. So I'd hope we're in that sort of position of having started something that for sure there could be a life in a day too, but who knows? I don't think it will replace feature films. I think it'll just add to them.
Mm-hmm. Do you have one or maybe couple movies that moved you during the during editing? Some favorite movie, maybe in that project? Joe, can you hear me?
However, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Oh, I can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Can
Say
you
one
see?
more time. I missed your question.
Well, wait. We've got some technical problems. Oh,
I can hear you now.
now it's okay. Yes. Oh no. Musicie nam wybaczyć.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I can hear you now, but I
Hopefully-
can't see. Oh, here you are. Okay, sorry. Oh, internet connection.
Don't worry.
Okay. Next questions. Would you do it again? I mean, when you know how it looked like. Marianne asks.
Hi, Marion. I think I would love to do it again. Maybe not immediately. I need a bit of a break. But it would be. Do you know what I think would be really fascinating is to come back and look at some of the stories of people who contributed films. To come back in about 6 or 7 years' time. That would be really interesting. Just see how their lives have changed and moved on.
Yeah. Earlier I asked you about your favorite movies that are in the film. Do you have some favorites?
Oh, I've got so many favourites. I love seeing the film because it's so rich. I mean, I know that's a dumb question, a dumb answer, but from the moment where there's a guy who's drunk on a park bench, I absolutely love that clip. It just always gets me in a really good frame of mind. And then there's the Japanese father and son. I absolutely adore that one. And I love the guy with the first shave. And I mean, actually, one of my favourites is not in the film.
Oh.
And that's a real tragedy.
So why you rejected that film?
I know. It was just, there's a guy, an English guy actually, a very funny guy called The Shend.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really mean anything, The Shend, but he was a poet who did very, very funny little poems, visual poems. And we always thought that it was a dead, certainty that would be in the film, but it didn't make it. We had to be very tough, Eva. We had to get rid of some things that we really loved. As they say in movies, you have to kill your babies.
Sorry, it's a pity. And Joe, how does your day look like?
My day? Oh, that's a good question. Well, I'm a bit boring, really.
So you're not a workaholic?
I am a workaholic. I'm just here in front of my screens most of the time. I know. I live like a monk. I don't think there's anything amusing or interesting. I did think about filming on that day, and it was actually not a great day for me. It was a sort of a problem with family and all those kind of things. And I thought, oh God, no, I can't bear to look at. I can't even bear to film it, let alone look at it. So I didn't film. I was a coward.
Oh, maybe next time you'll get involved as a contestant.
Maybe.
Would there be a sequel?
I think there will be, yes. There's talk about it already. I think there will be. I can't tell you anything about it. It's all completely secret. But I feel sure it's a good film and people are really interested. Do you know, YouTube were brilliant. This idea of theirs sort of, and they were the most brilliant producers because they supported what we were doing and they let us get on. Nowadays, if people finance a movie, it costs a lot of money, as you know, to make a movie. They want to
Yes.
be involved and make corrections and suggest things, and sometimes you can really disagree profoundly with your financiers. And YouTube, as financiers of this film, were the most amazing people because they just let us get on with it, and they gave us the most positive of encouragement, and they've backed the film. So I'd be very happy to work with them again, I can tell you.
Another questions from our chat. In your opinion, Life in a Day has a chance to win Oscar?
Well, you know, it's really embarrassing because lots of people, after the premiere, a lot of people came up to me. And this, you know, when you're English and people come up to you and they compliment you, you sort of go red and you sort of like get very embarrassed. But a lot of people came up and they said, if I wasn't nominated for an Oscar, or this picture wasn't nominated for an Oscar, there would be no justice. And it's very embarrassing when people say that to you. You think, my God. So I don't know. I think actually, technically, it's not possible because it's been shown on the internet. And because it's been shown on the internet, it's not qualified to be in the Oscar nominations. But we'll see. Maybe they'll change the rule.
Yeah, maybe they change. Okay, next questions. Oh, we've got lots of them. What will you do in Berlin during expecting for Life in a Day?
We're being joined by a family from the film. There's a family who shared an incredibly personal story, which was that their wife was recovering from cancer and had had a cancer operation the day before. They're an amazing family called the Legzinskis, Bob and Kathy Legzinski, and they're in the film. They're coming over from the States, and they're going to be our guests, as are several filmmakers. Marek, who's from Slovakia, he's an amazing man who filmed a Korean cyclist cycling around the world. So we've got a number of people who are collecting together to publicise the film and to get together and answer questions and do our best to promote the film. But there's really, the principal thing is there's a couple of really big screenings, very important screenings. One of them is in a huge place with, I think, 2,000 members of the audience. So that'll be very exciting, a big night on Saturday.
Okay, a question about Ridley Scott. It was easy to cooperate with Ridley Scott in this project. Has he engaged in the film a lot?
Yes, he was very involved. He's a very benign dictator, I would describe him as. He knows, he's a phenomenal man. I mean, he can't be that young now, but he works with tremendous energy and commitment to detail. He came in at a very early stage and, you know, he promoted the film and he came into the cutting room to see how we were getting on at a very early stage. And he was involved with the cut and, you know, had expressed his view about some things, which, you know, we debated with him. And, yeah, he was, of course, involved. And he involved in the soundtrack. There's the most amazing combination of composers. There's Matthew Herbert, who worked a lot with the sound that YouTube users had supplied. So people would clap and hum and record favourite sounds, and Matthew used a lot of those sounds in the soundtrack itself. And the Hollywood composer, Harry Gregson Williams, who's better known for things like Shrek and Prince of Persia, and he's an amazing composer for that beautiful music that's at the beginning and end of the film, and there's many cues by him, in fact. So Ridley was very instrumental in getting us the right combination of composers on the film. And of course, he's very proud of it, I think. He knows it's done well, and he's very pleased and proud of the film.
Okay, Joe, last two questions from Marianne first. How would you describe the world premiere of Life in a Day in Sundance? How was the audience reactions?
It's amazing, really amazing. It was really one of the most important evenings of my life because, you know, we rushed to make this film so quickly. We only had 5 months, which might to some people seem like a long time, but in my experience it's a really short time. And we finished dubbing the soundtrack a day before we left to come to Sundance, and we took the tape with us under our arms, and we were in a real hurry, and then we got there, and nobody had really seen it with an audience. So seeing it with a very, very big audience, I mean, there were 1,290 people there, many of whom were filmmakers who'd been involved, and they hadn't seen it either. That was a really big evening for me, and I was very, very excited to be there. It was a really great evening.
I'm glad, and I envy you also. Okay, last question. What do you have printed on your mug? Could you show us what's there on your mug? Here on your cup.
I don't know how to show you my Mac. Which Mac? To me, my
mug. No, mug. The cup that's on your desk. Here.
I've got pret-a-manger.
Oh.
Pret-a-manger. Do you have pret-a-manger in Poland?
No.
It's very popular here.
Coffee Heaven and Starbucks.
And this is completely empty.
Oh.
It's no advertising. It's about the only place.
Not yet.
It's the only place in London that doesn't have any advertising at all.
Oh.
So
nice.
You know, in England, when people say your mug, they also mean your face.
Oh. Misunderstanding. Joe, thank you so much. It was a pleasure to talk to you and to meet you. Have a nice time in Berlin.
Okay, and thanks to all your internauts for their questions.
Thank you.
It's really nice to talk to you, Eva.
Bye.
Okay, bye.